All right, this one's about Keefe D and why you can't sit down with the opposition, meaning the government or the state's witness, when you're on the street committing wrong. That's why I say don't go on the street, stay on the porch, don't go outside. It's not worth it, because this is when snitching goes wrong. Sit back, enjoy the ride. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's get this thing popping, because this is where we at. All right. All right, this is what it is, man. We're going to talk about Keefe D here. This ain't to disrespect them. This ain't none of that, but we just calling a spade a spade. If you don't like it, just please go to another channel, because we're not interviews here. We're just trying to enlighten the youngins to know that you're not going to win you get on the street, because these are the games they playing. We have social media, we got streaming, so we get to go in the courtroom in live time for the world to see how they treat us in the courtroom. I'm going to keep saying it, because remember, look at Alec Baldwin. One motion to dismiss, he's out of there. Look at Young Thug, fighting for his life. 100 motions to dismiss. They did the same thing, basically, holding back evidence, holding back statements, having ex parte hearings in the back without letting it be known. And Keefe D tried to sit down and make a deal with these people, thinking that he could trust them when he gave them the proffer. Listen, when they tell you, first of all, don't go on the street, that's what I'm telling you. But if you're on the street, this is the way the rules go. You don't sit down with the government and have, or the state, and have a proffer hearing. You don't have any conversation for them when they pull up on you, because it's them against you. And like they say in the Constitution, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. This is a perfect example of anything you say can and will be used against you. We talking about all the way, 23, 24 years ago. You know what I mean? Come on, man. 20, 30, 30 years ago, whatever it is, 96, 2006, 2016. Yeah, come on, man. Yo, this is just too long, man. Let's look at Keefe D and see what he got to say about this real quick, man. I'm going to let you see how, snitching goes wrong.
Days and then make that determination.
We'll status check then on trial readiness, and that'll be August 20th.
No, address the court.
I think we're done.
I got something to say.
You want to say to Mr. Arnold, and he can say that he represents you, so ultimately you represent yourself. You can talk at will, but
Mr. Craig Hayden had them boxes at his house for 15 years in his attic, doing all kind of TV interviews. Them boxes should not be allowed in the
he's
cases.
just going to talk about it.
Yeah, them boxes should not be allowed. The tainted evidence, everything. The man, he broke a proffer agreement, and he broke the law, all kind of stuff. The boxes should not be allowed. They've been at his house for 15 years, and he do interviews, going in the boxes. Let me see here. Ooh, you can see it on any internet site that this man been going in the boxes for years. And he's let them go. And a judge, federal judge in LA, did a 142-page thing about him. Look it up on the internet.
So I think what the state said ultimately is that they don't think there's going to be anything in those boxes that they're going to use.
Man, you just use something.
Yeah, I want to point this out, right? I want to point this out. You see his lawyer roll up on him when he was talking? He tried to tell him what we've been saying, and we got the T-shirts, Look in My Store, to shut the F up. His lawyer went over there, whispered in his ear, man, stop talking. You're talking too much. What are you doing? Stop talking. You know what I mean? So that's where we at, so you fully understand. Now, I'm going to play it back so you can see it, but look at this, where the lawyer roll up and pat him on the back, whisper all in his ear, and he tell him, man, stop talking. want you to see that part. Hold up. Look at the lawyer.
Been in them boxes for years, and he's a and a judge, federal judge in LA did a 142-page thing about him. Look it up on the internet.
So I think what the state said ultimately is that they don't think there's going to be anything in those boxes that they're going to use. Is that
They
right?
you just use something in them boxes. They just used something in them boxes from 1996, and they know they did it.
Yeah, no, it's certainly we are.
They're not only ugly on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside.
Just figuring that out.
They crashed in my family in this. They did my daughter first. They did my son. Then they just did my wife the last year. The what's the name told me about these. David Westbrook told me about these dudes. He said they're not only ugly on the outside, but they ugly on the inside too. These two dudes right here.
Hey, yo, did you see how he just told on Dana Westbrook? He said, Dana Westbrook told me that they ugly on the outside and ugly on the inside. Don't be surprised if they call that lawyer Dana Westbrook up there, you know what I mean, to answer that. This what you telling them about us. You're supposed to be, working with the court of law, and you're not supposed to sit there and abolish the court. You're supposed to sit there and fight the court. And you told him that they're ugly on the outside, and on the inside. You know what I mean? Listen to this, man. You got to see this, man. Hold up.
On the outside, but they ugly on the inside. They crashed in my family in this. They did my daughter first. They did my son. Then they just did my wife the last year. The what's the name told me about these. David Westbrook
Right there.
told me about these dudes. He said they're not only ugly on the outside, but they ugly on the inside too. These two dudes right here.
Hey, yo, you see them pouring them out? Dana Westbrook said these two. Yo, hold up, man. No disrespect, but like I said, I told Keefe's son I was going to respect him. I respect his son because, but this is serious so that y'all understand and could see this in real lifetime. You can't work with these people. That's why his lawyer went to whisper in his ear to tell him, you know what I mean? Like, yo, quiet, dog. Where the lawyer even pat him on the back and say, you on your own, dog. You're doing too much talking. I done told you to shut the F up and you still talking. That's what this video is about. You cannot make a deal with the government and tell them nothing if you're in the street. That's why, again, I say don't get involved with the street. This man just sat here in open court and showed you where we at. Bottom line is, they trying to put him on a squeeze is what let's ride. Let me tell you what's going on with Keefe. And I want to give a round of applause to Wack for trying to get the brother out. All right. Relax. Wack 100 trying to get him out. You know what I mean? He doing the right thing, trying to make sure, this black train moves forward, right? So if y'all got a problem with Keefe, Wack gonna get him out. If you ain't got a problem with him, shut the F up and let the man come out with his family. He's old, he's ill, and I met his son, real respectable young man. So we don't need all this in the comments about, keep him in there. No, we don't need to keep no black man in prison. This man is old. He done been through his situation. I don't agree with all the telling he did, but there's reasons for why he's telling, but there's no justification for telling, so I could let that be known. But the reason is he thought that, he could trust these people to tell them what happened. And once he tell them what happened, that, it'll go away. Because these are the games they play. So don't think when they tell you, just tell us that it was Johnny that shot him. We're not going to charge you. And we're not going to use it against you. Because another thing, just so you understand, because we like to ride. Woody. They're going to charge Woody when the feds come in and pick up the young thug child, because I feel he's going to beat it in the state and then the feds is going to be waiting to pick it up. Now, just so you understand, right? If they could prove, or if they got any evidence, saying that somebody came from out of town to Georgia and did whatever or a gun came from out of town that was used in the Young Thug case, you know, they could take that, right? Even God forbid, and we're gonna pray if Young Thug is convicted, right? They can still come back and charge him in the feds again. You see how crazy this is? That's what I mean by you don't win in this, man. If Young Thug beats this trial, the feds could come back and charge him in the state, whether he beats it or not, and all they're gonna do is attach the conspiracy code to that. And then everything that he did in the state that he's convicted of, they can then turn around and bring that over into the feds and put them in the same indictment, but not as counts in the indictment, but as overt acts in their indictment. Overt acts is what furthered the course of the overall scheme. That's the games they play. You see, this don't make sense to y'all, but you know, because it didn't make sense to me back then. But I understand it because I had to live it, so I know what's going on. And it hurts me to see how they're doing this man, because you really thought you could trust these people. Don't you understand it's their job to lock you up and throw away the key and then use your case to elevate in their political ladder to become the governor, the senator, the congressman, you know, the vice president, you know, the president, you know? All this is what's playing out in real lifetime. These are the people that took an oath to lock our black asses up. And then after they lock us up, they use our case to say, oh, Unique was so dangerous. Keefe D was so dangerous. Young Thug was so dangerous. Lou Sims was so dangerous. Kevin Childs was so dangerous. I took them off the street, so therefore I should become your next president. I should become your next congressman. I should become your next senator. That's what these high-profile cases do for these people. So this is not about justice. This is about moving up in the political ladder. Don't you understand that? When they move up in the political ladder, they use these same statements, and these same indictments that they fabricated, twisted, you know what I mean, railroaded us on, and show it to the American people and say, vote for me, I'll put these bags off the street. You don't understand that you a pawn family? Keefe D said that he thought he had an agreement with the government and he's a known gangbanger. How do a known gangbanger have an agreement with the government? What kind of agreement when you're on two different sides of the fence, so you don't have the same morals and principles and codes to honor any agreement together, because you're two different people on two different sides of the law with two different agendas. Keefe D's agenda is to get the bag and get away, and the government's job is to catch him and lock that black ass up forever like they did me. And that's why I haven't been doing videos every day. I've been taking all, I want y'all to really ponder what I'm choosing to put up here, because I'm trying to wake y'all up, because we're getting ready to have one of the biggest elections of our time. And now these people is gonna use, you know, us that they locked away to try and elevate on that political scale. And then their opponents is going to use, right, pay attention, their opponents is going to use just that, saying they locked up your black people, you know what I mean? They gave them millions of years, you know, they put together and implemented, you know, the crime bill with the war on drugs, you know what I mean? So now they want to go in the White House after they done put us all in the crack house, the penitentiary house. You see where I'm going with this? Pay attention, man. These Jews are too serious. That's why I'm taking my time to give it to you raw so you understand. We're nothing but pawns in their political agenda to move up. This same, look. He's talking about this dude, Caden. You actually trust a cop, Keefe? And you from the street? That's why I'm telling all you youngins watching this now, get off the street. Don't get involved in the street. This get more complicated than you could ever think, man. I had to sit in jail 26 years, wake up every night knowing that I had life with no chance of parole and they expected me to die in prison. And then I was blessed and I'm home to talk to you, to let you know what's on the other side. This is equivalent to someone dying and coming back and telling you, man, it ain't bad on the other side. You know, you get X amount of this and X amount of that when you go over there. And you live like a king, running water. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's how serious this is, man. Get off the street. Don't get involved in the street. If you feel you're tough enough to do that, do not do what this man behind me is doing and think that you could sit down and have a proper agreement with these people or any type of agreement, because it does not work that way. Their job is to lock you up and throw away the key and then brag to the citizens that they took people like us off the street. I'm saying us because I was a criminal and now I'm here trying to talk to you as a civilian to let you know, be a civilian. There's nothing wrong with getting a job, staying home. All the women that I thought I loved back then and I thought loved me, you know what I mean? Majority of them, right? All of them, right? Have children now, moved on with their lives. While I've been gone 26 years, I come home, they're grandmothers. And the crazy part is their baby daddies is the ops. And then they see me and they want to come run and give me a hug and kiss and tell me how much they miss me and how much I did for them when they had a baby with the ops. Y'all paying attention to this? That's how real this gets, y'all. So don't get involved in the street, man, because you lose everything. And the ones that you call and consider a square and a civilian is the ones that's out here screwing your girl and breeding them. And even raising your kids you left behind with them. You call home and dude answer the phone and say, yo, you want to speak to your son? This is your ops asking you, yo, you want to speak to your son? This is what happened when you hit the street. You call home and she answer the phone and then you hear him kissing her in the back, then you hear her moaning, and you hear him having sex with her while you're on the phone with her. He's busy pleasuring her sexually, making a mockery of you. And this is your ops. So don't think you own the women, you know, and don't think that, you know, you're going to win playing this game. Keefe D actually thought he was going to win by getting an agreement with Greg Caden. I'm going to play this over, and I want y'all to watch it from the beginning, right? I'm going to play this over, and let it load up. I'm going to play this over, and I want y'all to watch this from the beginning, how the lawyer tried to tell him to shut the F up because you're not supposed to talk. If you're in the street and you talk about it. Let's play this.
Days and
Watch
then
it, Lord.
make that
We'll do a 30-day
determination.
status check then on trial readiness. And it'll be,
That'll be August 20th.
Now address the court.
I think we're done.
I got something to say.
You want to say to Mr. Arnold, and he can say, he represents you, so ultimately you represent yourself, you can talk at will, but if
Mr.
somebody represents you.
Greg Caden had them boxes at his house for 15 years in his attic, doing all kind of TV interviews. That them boxes should not be allowed in the
He's
cases.
just gonna talk about it.
Yeah, them boxes should not be allowed. The tainted evidence, everything. The man, he broke a proffer agreement, and he broke the law, all kind of stuff. The boxes should not be allowed. They've been at his house for 15 years, and he do interviews, going in the boxes. Let me see here. Ooh. You can see it on any internet site that this man been going in the boxes for years. And he's
Watch his lawyer walk away from him. The lawyer's like, man, I give up. You on your own, dog. Because watch the lawyer like, yo, dog, we ain't supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to trust me to do the talking. You talking. But I'm going to say this for the record so y'all understand, being that y'all want to be on the street. Keefe not doing nothing wrong. He felt he had something to say. And when you go in court, yes, you're supposed to listen to your lawyer. Lawyer's supposed to be a mouthpiece. But your lawyer's not going to articulate it the way you want them to. Keefe couldn't take no more of the crap that he heard. Because the judge said, we're done here. And he said, now, hold up, I got something to say. And you know what I mean? And as a black man, his own king, he's like, no, I got something to say. This man had these boxes in his thing for 15 years, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? However long he said, I'm not even really paying attention to this crap because you ain't supposed to be doing none of this. But, sometimes you have to speak up in the courtroom and not depend on your lawyer to speak up. You know what I mean? So Keefe, what he did was get this on the record that he had these boxes in his house for 15 years, and what he's getting at is the fruit of the poisonous tree. Because now, how many people had access? This is what his lawyer is going to argue. So Keefe did a good thing bringing this up, unless his lawyer was going to bring it later. But Keefe D got it on record, like Brian Steele in the Young Thug case got it on the record that he didn't want the trial to move forward without him when they lock his ass up for contempt of court. Now, Keefe is sitting there and he's letting them know straight up on the record that he had it in his house for X amount of years. His kids could have got to it, son could have got to it, friends could have got to it, he could have got to it. They could have changed anything. So you have to look at the chain of command. Why does Keaton have these files in his house? He might have got it from Freedom of Information, but what did he take out or what did he alter is what Keefe D is going at that. You can't use that. The man had it out for 15 years to do what he want to do with it for 15 years. And you're going to use that against me? That's what Keefe's trying to say so you understand exactly, because I know they're not going to explain this to you on the other stations because they don't really know the law. But he's letting it be known that, these boxes was in his possession for 15 years. Anything could have happened. Let me give you a quick ride, right? I'm going to give you a quick ride. Because we ride. I beat a charge in ADX, right? This between the Tupac and Biggie saga when it was going on in the 90s, right? And the California dudes, was rolling with Tupac and, on the street, and the East Coast dude was rolling with, Biggie. So when that was going on, of course, I'm in prison, so I always kept a knife with me. It don't matter even if I'm in ADX. So I took my joint, allegedly, and forgot it in the stash in my laundry. They took my laundry to the laundry in the prison. They found the knife in the laundry, and they charged me with possession of the knife that was in the laundry bag all the way in the laundry while I'm all the way locked in my cell 23 hours a day. So now, being I got so much time to think while locked in this cell 23 hours a day, I said, damn, I could beat this. My homies laughing at me. You can't beat that, dog. Because I'm in the shoe now. We talking through the vein. Like, you can't beat this. I said, man, I could beat this. I said, look, this the way it went down. I allegedly put my pants, put the knife in the pants. I allegedly tied the knife, tied the bag on the outside of the door in ADX. Because when they let us out the door, you got to bring your laundry, your shower shoes, everything you're going to do. And you got 1 hour to shower, and use the phone and work out. So we bring everything we're going to need during that hour in a laundry bag, and we tie it on our door. So when I did that, I also tied my laundry bag on the door. When I went to go in, they was rushing to lock me in because I ran a little late, was on the phone. And while I'm running up there, they sat there, and I grabbed the laundry bag and went in, and I laid down. I went to sleep, but I grabbed the wrong laundry bag. They found the banger, So now this is how I beat it. I told them, look, the way they do the laundry here is they tell us to tie the laundry bag on the doorknob, and then the police come around, they pick up the laundry bag, and then they put it in the cart, or give it to the inmate to put it in the cart, and then the inmates take the cart, they lock the cart though, and then they take the cart down to the laundry, and when they take it to the laundry, they take the key and they unlock it, and then they tell the inmates to take the laundry out of the cart that was locked that has our stuff in it. And now you got the inmate taking the bags out the car, which is their procedures. So I used their procedures against them. I said, hold up. Once it went from an officer touching it to an inmate touching it, it broke the chain of command. How do I know the inmate didn't put it in there? Your Honor, Mr. DHO, disciplinary hearing officer. He said, damn, good point. I said, how do I know an inmate did not put that in the bag? How do I know the police didn't put it in the bag? Because 2 different people handled the bag. And right or wrong, Mr. Disciplinary Officer, once an inmate touched the bag, it's no longer considered a direct communication, a direct movement. And I said, damn, you're right. And they threw out the charge. And I beat the knife charge in the ADX. Go look up my record, because you know, you rat bastards look for anything to say. But all this fit, I'm going to do something about Bootsy and his situation later too. You know, with that gun, to explain that to you a little further what's going on, so you get a good understanding. I'm running a little late. I'm gonna just end this one now, and I'm gonna do the Bootsy one and maybe put them both up today. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you already subscribed, hit the notification bell. Cop the book of Rowan Harlem. Cash App on the screen. $ unique.m.hall, and make sure you hit the icon on the Cash App, and it says it was created in 2020. Period. All right, let me tap out, man. Nah, you know what? Before I even tap, I'm gonna let y'all hear the end of Keefe D's thing right here, man, so you understand.
He's let them go, and a judge, federal judge in LA, did a 142-page thing about him. Look it up on the internet.
So I think what the state said ultimately is that they don't think there's going to be anything in those boxes that they're going to use.
You just use something in them boxes. They just used something in the boxes.
Tell him, Keefe.
From 1996. And
Tell
they know
'em.
what they did it.
Yeah, no, it's certainly we are.
They're not only ugly on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside.
Who told you that?
They crashed in my family in this. They did my daughter first. They did my son. Then they just did my wife the last thing.
Who told you that?
What's the name told me about these? David Westbrook told me about these dudes.
Dana
He
Westbrook.
said they're not only ugly on the outside, but they ugly on the inside too. These 2 dudes right here.
Right there. All right. Hey, y'all, I ain't got to say no more, man. Yo, don't get involved in the street. It ain't worth it. That's all this is about. This is not to disrespect Keefe, but, yo, we have to use him as an example so that y'all understand what's going on with this, man. It's not worth it. Don't go on the street. You don't want to wind up in one of them jumpsuits that he got on behind me. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top Beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours.